from Hip Stitch. Today we are going to demonstrate how to make 2 quilt blocks out of 2 pieces of fabric. So this is a sewing project, so the most important thing you need is a sewing machine to do this project. Here are the 2 different fabrics put together in quilt blocks. You can rearrange them however you want. You can make as many as you want, but let's get to the demo. So what you're going to need for this project, let's go over supplies besides sewing machine. You're going to need some pins, a pair of scissors, a yardstick, some sort of marking pen or pencil. The only thing you do not want to use is a Sharpie that will go through your fabric, and an iron and an ironing board. So you want to choose 2 pieces of fabric and cut them into squares that are the same measurement, length and width. I picked 2 pieces that I cut into 18 inches length and width, and they're both the same. You can cut yours into 10 inches or 12 inches or 15 inches. You need to have them be square and be the same length and width and be 2 different fabrics. We chose a solid for this and a print. You next need to understand right side and wrong side of fabric. This is the right side, this is the wrong side. Our solid actually does not have much of a difference, right and wrong. But this is important because step 1, after you've cut your fabric into the square that you want, is you want to put them together with right sides facing. So here's my right side of my print. It's facing the solid. So I'm going to lay these out as best as I can so that they're even. And then I'm going to take a pin and I'm going to push it through both layers of fabric and then pick up my pin and push it out again. And I'm going to do that again on the other side of the fabric. The only place you don't want to pin is in the middle because we're going to be doing some work here, but about 2 pins should do it. And the purpose of these pins is to keep your fabric together so it doesn't slide apart. You want it to stay together. Okay, the next step is I'm going to take a yardstick and my marking pen, and I'm going to draw a line from one corner to the other at the diagonal. So I'm going to really carefully line up my yardstick from one corner to the other and press down pretty firmly, and then draw a line right along the edge of my yardstick. And it doesn't have to be really, really dark, but there's my line. Okay, I'm going to put my pen aside, and then I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, but let me show you what I'm going to do before I do it. So I'm going to sew a seam, which is a line of stitches with my sewing machine, 1/4 of an inch away from the line that I just drew on either side of the line. So my sewing machine actually has a specific foot on it so that I can measure that 1/4 inch as I go. If you don't have that, you can use a ruler and your pen and mark that 1/4 inch all the way down. You can do just some dotted lines, and that's the line you'll follow. You want to be pretty specific about this. You don't want to do wavy lines. You don't want to get off course. So your seam is going to be parallel to the line that you drew, but you're going to have 2 seams, one on either side of that line. So now I'm going to take it to the sewing machine, and I'm going to lower the pressure foot. And I'm going to put my foot to the pedal, and this is my 1/4 inch foot. And my foot is right along the line that I drew. Okay, so I've opened up the triangles. I now have a new set of squares with 1 fabric on one side and 1 on the other side. Now let's do a little math here. We did 1/4 inch seams. So if we did a 1/4 inch seam here, what started as an 18 inch square is now 17.5 because I took a 1/4 inch off of this fabric and a 1/4 inch off of that fabric. So we've started with an 18-inch square, but it's a little smaller now. Our next step is we're going to get our marking pen again, and I'm going to actually do it on this side. Is I'm going to go opposite where my seam is, corner to corner, and draw another line from corner to corner, right across where I sewed those two pieces together. And I'm going to do one more cut right along the line that I drew. Now, if you are at home and you are a sewer or a quilter, or mom or dad or someone in your family is, they might have, or you might have, a rotary cutter and a ruler, and you can use that if you have it and are experienced to know what it is to do your cutting. But for this sample, pretty much all of us have scissors at home. So I sewed fabric together, I cut it apart, I sewed it together, I cut it apart. I'm going to do the same for this piece, and then we're going to do some final sewing and have some really cool quilt blocks.